Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we have a brand new ship for everybody to check out. We are in the Bart. Now, this is the newest Tier 7 Premium Battleship and it is a campaign at the moment. If you go over here to campaign and missions, go up here. Clearly you can see I have not finished the campaign yet. This is a loaner ship from Wargaming because I'm a community contributor. They loan us a ship and then take it back a week later. So, I'm going to make a video on it for you guys to let you know whether or not it's capable of being a fairly competitive ship or not. And, yeah, without further ado, let's get down to the ship itself. Now, let's go look at the commander. I am using Emil Japrat for this. Hopefully, you know, some other people can come up and see whether or not this is a good idea. Now, Emil is not my highest rank. I usually use Robert Gijard, but Emil is still a solid commander. Here is his build. He makes battleships go faster as his base trait. I have Andrew Cunningham for the dispersion, and I have Robert Gijard for the battleship armor-piercing penetration multiplier. Then, over here we have the Brawler trait, we have Porcupine, we have Megalomania, we have Master Mechanic, and I took the Will to Rebuild because I'm a battleship and recovering more health is preferable. Now, with this build you lose some range on your main batteries, which is something I'm not a big fan of. However, with the design of this ship being what it is, being outside of 15 kilometers is not preferable to begin with. So you want to close the distance, it has the speed to do so, and then you want to park yourself in a good position to be able to tee off on the enemy. Now if we go to upgrades and loadout, you'll see my build is pretty similar here. Aiming systems for the dispersion and all of that good stuff. Then we've got propulsion mod, we've got the only thing we can get, target acquisition, and we have main battery mod 3. And what that all equals out to is this. First of all, here is something unique to this ship. The main battery reload booster, guys. This means it cuts your reload in half for 30 seconds. And that's going to be important in a moment. I'll get down to that here in a moment. But this cuts your reload down in half. I forgot to put my alpha flag on there. But, you know, it cuts your reload in half. It also has the engine boost, as the battleships for the French usually do. Or at least later. I don't know if they get them early. I forget. It's been a minute. But we get an extra repair party as well, which comes in handy when you're putting yourself in position to take damage. Now, survivability. Not the most hit points ever, 66,000 hit points, but it's respectable. Okay? It's not terrible. 32% reduction in torpedo damage compared to the 25 that an Iowa gets, but a lot less than the 49 that the Alabama gets. But right there in the wheelhouse of most of the better battleship reduction. So, you can't really argue with it. Artillery. We have the same configuration as the Richelieu. And the Richelieu is basically what this ship is. With the exception it has that extra reload ability. And it has a faster reload base anyway. So with this build, I have the reload time, the base reload, down to 19.4 seconds. Okay? Now, if we do a little bit of math in our head right off the bat, that means that we are able to reload, when we use our reload consumable, we're able to reload in just 9.7 seconds. Okay? But just think about that. 9.7 seconds. That's insane. Like, a battleship, 380mm guns, reloading in 9 point... The Japanese destroyers with a torpedo build can't fire that fast. That just puts you into perspective of just how fast this thing can absolutely manhandle you. So, keep that in mind. Now, the secondaries are really good. I like them. But the problem is most of them are on the back of the ship. They do have the ability to fire over the front and sides slightly, so they do come in handy, and we've got them reaching out to 5.2 kilometers. Not going to see too much from the secondaries in the video. AA defense, I don't ever need to talk about that. Maximum speed, 31 knots. Even with the, you know, the ship set up the way actually, this is not the dispersion build, so that's why we didn't lose the speed. So yeah, 31 knots, turning circle 850 meters, and then a rudder shift time of 16 seconds. It feels pretty decent in turning ability. Concealment is better than most battleships, but still, it's a battleship. Just keep that in mind. Overview. What does it say about it? Well, it's an above average maximum movement speed. You're not wrong. The only thing that competes with this is a Richelieu and then the Iowa. That's it. That's the only ships that compete with this as far as battleships go. Reloader. Maybe the Tirpitz. I could be wrong. I can't remember what the Tirpitz speed is. But the Bismarck, I think, is slower than the Tirpitz, and the Tirpitz is fast. I don't remember. I'm going to talk out my ass. Reloader. Above average main battery reload time. You think? That is what this thing is. Now, this is one of those ships that is a one-trick pony, right? It wants to close the distance. It wants to get up in there and brawl. It's very good frontally armored. Not so much on the sides or the rear. So, it wants to point its guns at you, because that's where all the guns are in the front. Okay? Now, let's look at the Jean Bart description. A Richelieu class battleship, so it is a Richelieu. Known for her high speed and powerful anti-torpedo defense. Again, better than most of the battleships, not quite as good as the Alabama. In the process of her completion in the late 1940s, she received the most advanced anti-aircraft artillery systems for that time, which significantly increased the ship's AA defense. Unfortunately, that doesn't matter to us, because all we ever see is spotter planes at the moment. Now, when carriers come out, if they come out later this year, or later in 2020, I'm already, you know, referring to it as this year. But later, when the carriers come out on console, then that'll be a thing. But until then, not a whole lot. Okay, so with that being said, we are going to get right down to the video. Try to leave you guys with a nice panning shot of the ship, and you can see all those secondaries. Look at the secondaries in the back. You got triple turrets for secondaries, right? Just a fantastic ship. And you guys are going to get to see a pretty fun one. So hopefully you guys enjoy, and I will see you in the gameplay. Hello everybody, and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. Why am I doing the intro again? You dummy! I apologize. Why do I do this every time I do these videos? Every time I do it. I'm sorry. But, welcome to the gameplay. We are in the Jean Bart. We are in my very first match in the Jean Bart. And so you're going to see a little bit of testing. And I hope that you guys enjoy. It's going to be a good match. It's going to be a good match for me. It's also going to be just a fun match in general, so hopefully you guys like it. Now, I will say this. I do a poor job of managing when to use my fast reload consumable, because that is the main thing that sets the Jean Bart apart. Good God, that's hard to say. From the Richelieu. You get the reload consumable. Now, I was using the Japrat build for this, which means I don't have as much range. Of course, on this map, it's pretty much perfect, because it gives you all of the benefits, but none of the disadvantages, because everybody's going to be in your range anyway. So I got lucky there, but I also was doing some testing with the Robert Jajard, which is my normal battleship build for the French, and I'll be honest, you can do either really well. You do have more survivability using this other than, you know, your regular, but having the extra consumables as far as your extra heal is nice. And the extra survivability from not having flammable cannoneer, so you'll see in this match I start getting pelted by fire or high explosive, and I really don't have any issues getting set on fire. Well, I do get set on fire. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It does happen. But you'll notice if you've ever used it. Now, here I use my first reload consumable, and look how fast this thing reloads. It is disgusting. And we're about to get loaded. Unfortunately, when the reload consumable timer runs out, you really... It resets it to where it would be had it not been used. So you'll see there it went from, I think, 1.5 seconds back to 5 seconds, so I had to wait for it. Now here I make a little bit of a mistake, and I push up too far onto the island, and unfortunately run right into it. And we're trying to throw it in reverse. You'll see I use the propulsion, or the engine boost, to try to get it into reverse faster. I don't know if that works, but it was my thought process, so I tried it. You know, the reload booster, or the engine booster on this thing lasts for quite a while. And I was feeling some type of way about not being able to shoot these guys, especially that Autogo. And I really want him off the board because he has fantastic high explosive. And I don't want him to start shooting me with it. Unfortunately, I thought I was clear of the mountain. The mountain symbol in my reticle disappeared, so thought I was clear, but that was only for the rear gun. The front gun shot straight into the mountain anyway. Not preferable. But now that we've forced these guys back, now look at my team composition, where they're at, or team location. I've got 3 people on the far left side of the map. 2 of them are battleships. 1 of them is a cruiser. And they're getting shots on those cruisers, but with 2 battleships over there, those cruisers should have been dead a long time ago. It just they're in the perfect place to shoot them. I was shooting through the broadside and getting nothing but overpins, which is normal for battleships against cruisers when they're full broadside like that, especially light cruisers. But at the end of the day, I am going to move up and put myself in a good position to wreck their team. Now, somebody on my team is going to be yelling at me, Spartan! Well, I say Spartan. He wasn't talking, but he gets on there and he's like, fall back! What are you doing? I'm a battleship and all my armor's in the front. All of my guns are in the front. Why would I fall back at this point? And me moving up gives this hipper a little bit of a, oh, I could shoot this guy. So he pulls up. And now that he's pulled up, I've got him spotted. The friendlies can shoot at him. We can shoot at him. And we get a nice hit on him for 7,400. But again, all over pins, which is not preferable. Now you can see where all of the fire from the Autogo is coming over the top of the mountain and smashing me. And right here, I'm like, is he going to run aground? Yeah, he did. He just ran aground. So that's fine. And we go ahead and try to get another shot on him. Our reload booster's about to come off of cooldown. We are on fire at the moment. But, you know, fire damage is one of those things. It's light damage, so you can heal most of it back. And with the extra damage repairs, then I don't have to worry about being on fire as much. So I just sit here for a little bit, and you can see I'm getting 4 overpins now, doing no damage to him. And I'm getting a little frustrated, and then this shows up. And I'm like, oh, hello. I don't need to overpin you. Hold these for me. We get set on fire twice. I burn the damage control. I hit my reload booster because I want another salvo, and the hipper, in all of his glory, backs up and stops the Iowa from getting citadel. You piece of junk. Get out of my way! I'm not shooting you right now. So there we get a good shot on. We do actually citadel him, and he's just kind of parking here going, I think I can take this guy. Hey, but you really can't not park like that. So we're already at 60,000 damage. We got a nice good hit on him again. And again, the rain of fire just starts pummeling me from over the mountain. He's starting to turn towards me, and I figure I get this one shot in here. I'm aiming a little higher because I don't want to bounce all the shots. So I aim a little bit higher. We get a decent penetration again for another 9,000 damage. And watch what he does next. Now, again, I am of the mindset in this thing that I can reload so fast. Like, this thing literally reloads with this build in particular. The base reload is like 19.4. Look at him! He goes from showing one side of my ship. I guess he must wanted to turn the other cheek, because that's exactly what he does. He pays for it from my team and then continues to give me the best possible shot. So I'm just like, alright, you want to do that? We'll see how this goes for you, sunshine. Wait for it. Yeah, not preferable. 3 penetrations, 2 overpins. Didn't citadel him, which is why he's still alive, but I'm still going to out-reload everybody that's on this side of the map, with the exception of the cruiser, and he thought he was getting away. Did you really? Did you really think you were getting away? Yep. Are you kidding me? Only I can knock somebody down to no health and leave them alive. That's only something that happens to me. Nobody else does that. Like, everybody else will get the extra 150 damage to kill somebody. Like, I just always end up short. Every time. But I've done pretty well. I'm up 93,000 damage so far. That Iowa was kind enough to give us most of his. And now I'm pushing up to limit the amount that the Otago can shoot me. Because of the terrain, he's not going to be able to shoot me. And I know that the last known of the Battleship was over here to my right. Now my repair party consumable is about to come off of cooldown. And I'll be able to repair some more of my health. And I'm looking for him like, where is he? I don't see... Oh, hello! How you doing, Tupac? Nice meeting you here. If you guys aren't familiar with who this is Tupac Pro from the Gemini Rogues. He's a guy that I've known since World of Tanks console. He's a community contributor as well on World of Warships Legends. And we are both in the Jean Bart. Both trying to get videos for you guys. The first shot, beautiful shot, easy citadels. I unfortunately didn't have a reload boost left. He gets a good shot while I'm over angled here. But now I'm thinking he's pushing towards me, and my thought process here is I'm going to kill the Otago, and then I'm going to ram him to death. That was the thought process. His thought process was, my team's been crap, we're losing the match, I'm going to ram Spartan to death. Now here is what can only be described as potentially the dumbest failed ram attempt of anybody ever in World of Warships Legends. And maybe World of Warships in particular. I am trying to ram him using the map. As you can see, I'm turning my ship. I am trying to ram him. I have no idea he's trying to ram me, but out of the two of us, we can't find each other. Like, he is trying so hard to ram me, and I am trying so hard to ram him, and we managed to completely whiff somehow. I couldn't turn enough, and he kind of missed somehow. So between the two of us, neither of us ram each other. I am now in a very vulnerable position to him, so I start turning away. Unfortunately, me turning away and the Otago here had already launched his torpedoes. I do take down the Otago. Of course, now I get the Citadel, right? The last potential damage. And I turn right into his torps. And that's not preferable. But it is a thing, and Tupac lives for another few minutes. Or at least a couple seconds anyway. So right about now, I'm looking over and I'm like, wonder what these guys... A full health Leon? Really? Okay. How about the... Oh, it's a half health Iowa. Where have you guys been the entire game? I know they were the ones in the back corner that were firing at the cruisers and stuff early on. But still, you got 2/3 of your health between the two of you. And you've been all the way in the back the entire time. Imagine how quickly this match would have been over if they'd have pushed up. It'd have been over a long time ago. But it doesn't matter because Tupac is about to pull out broadside on in front of an Iowa. And anybody who's ever seen this happen knows exactly how this is going to end. Wait for it. 7 kilometers from an Iowa and your broadside. Yeah. Oh, he gets lucky. He gets lucky. No citadels whatsoever, mainly because the Iowa didn't lead him enough. He hit towards the rear of the ship, and there's not enough main batteries back there to have the Citadel go that far back. So if you're really going to Citadel a French battleship from the side, you need to hit towards the front and the front middle of the ship. But he goes down. He was the last one alive on his team. GG to you, Tupac. It's not the first time I've run into you, but this was the first time I remember being against you. 140,000 damage. Top of the leaderboard, and my final thoughts on the Jean Bart. It is a fantastic ship. That reload booster, if used properly, is fantastic. You catch so many people off guard that it's deadly. I've got another video that I'll post probably on Christmas as a little bit of a hello, come check this out kind of thing in the Jean Bart. It was just a funny match. It's not like a full video that you would normally see, but it's fantastic, and I think you guys will enjoy it. So, will I be picking up this ship? Absolutely. As soon as they take it from me, I'm going to do what I can in the campaign, and then I'm probably just going to buy it outright with what's left, because it is a fantastic ship, and I enjoy it. So, if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.